I have nothing.
She worked till 8.
Oh,
Good to go, Rick?
Good
Good to go?
Sure.
Okay, all right.
Okay, we go.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. It started at 6 p.m. Roll call, please.
Michael Cash,
Present.
Thomas Wood,
Here.
Meg LaFave,
Here.
Barb Hebert,
Present.
Charles Costick,
Here.
James Coffey,
Here.
and Rick Collins.
Resolution 44, approved minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of January 17th, the 24th, and February 7th, 2019 be approved and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion? Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Is there anything for public comment this evening? Seeing nothing for public comment. Resolution 45, abstract 2B-19.
Resolved that the abstract of audit of claims number 2B-19, 171 to 293 for $267,512.14. An abstract 2B-19, 48 to 61 prepays in the amount of $942,033.58 be received as reviewed by the audit committee. The supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstract.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, LaFave, any discussion? Seeing none. All's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So does carry. Resolution 46, the monthly department reports.
Resolved to receive and place on file monthly department head reports, building and grounds, highway superintendent, park and recs, safety committee, water and wastewater, codes and zoning, planning and community development, supervisor's financial report, and town clerk.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, Costick, any discussion? Seeing none. All's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 47, 3% site plan, plan return deposit for the ARC Affordable Housing Site Plan 2014 Connecticut Court.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board has reviewed and approved all requirements for ARC Affordable Housing Site Plan 2014 Connecticut Court. And whereas the Planning and Community Development Department has coordinated inspections of said project and reports all requirements have been met and completed. Now therefore be resolved, supervisors hereby authorized and directed to the release of said deposit in the amount of $11,680.57 plus accrued interest to date. And to be further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be forwarded by the Planning and Community Department Secretary with the return of deposit to NCMSO Advocate and Resources.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion? Seeing none. All's in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
So does carry. Resolution 48, setting a public hearing for the 2014 zoning ordinance and subdivision fee schedule amendments.
Whereas the Town of Plattsburgh's November 2014 zoning ordinance provides for fees that shall be changed as set forth in the town board. From that time to time shall be reviewed, and after a public hearing duly held at least 10 days after the publication of said notice at the time and place of said respective hearing, also be amended. And the Town of Plattsburgh does hereby adopt zoning ordinance and subdivision regulations for the development of lands within the Town of Plattsburgh, which regulations have been amended from time to time by the town board resolution. And whereas after careful study of said ordinance and the consultation with the town board, the Codes and Zoning Department has proposed changes to the existing fee schedule. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, after review and discussion of proposed changes of the fee schedule, duly authorized in Article 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, the town subdivision regulations 9, does hereby receive and placed on file the proposed changes as set forth in the attached fee schedule 2019. And to be further resolved that the town board shall hold a public hearing related to proposed changes in fee schedules at the town hall, 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901, on March 14, 2019 at 6:10 p.m. And it be further resolved that pursuant to the provisions of Article 16 of the town zoning ordinance, the town clerk shall cause a notice of the time and place of said public hearing to be published in the Press Republican, a paper of general circulation in the town of Plattsburgh of at least on or before March 1st, 2019, with such notice being posted in the town hall and town website. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution with attachment be given to the town clerk and the planning community development department and codes and zoning.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Heber, is there a second?
Second.
LaFave, any discussion?
Apologies to you, Rick, if I misheard or misunderstood, but at the first resolve, I think that's Articles 7, 8, 9, 16, and 17.
Yep.
Yeah, that's, so.
Just one other one too.
Yep.
First, whereas,
Mm-hmm.
is that, am I reading that wrong? Should that be changed or charged? Because it says provides for fees that shall be changed as set forth.
Yeah, I think it's changed.
It is changed
Yep.
or
Yep.
charged?
Changed.
Okay, I just wanted to make
No,
sure.
they're just changing.
Yeah, that's a
the
good
fee
question.
schedule.
Because there's an amendment to the local law, that's probably what that.
Okay.
That's a good question.
All right. And again, this does not set it in place, this is for the public hearing,
Right.
okay? All those, actually, let me get a roll call on this, please.
Okay, Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Hank LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Heber,
Yes.
Charles Costa,
Yes.
Mike Cashel.
Yes, so does Kevin. Resolution 49, response to City of Plattsburgh lead agency consent letter for annexation petition.
Whereas the town board is in receipt of a letter dated February 1st, 2018 from Dean C. Chandler, Corporation Counsel for the City of Plattsburgh, received on February 4th, 2019, informing the town of the city's intent to establish itself as lead agency to conduct a seeker review for the forthcoming petition to annex property located in the town of Plattsburgh as tax mark parcel 220.4-32. And whereas the town board, after consideration of this matter, has determined, based on 6 NYCRR Part 617.6 Subdivision B 5B, the town of Plattsburgh is a local agency situated to conduct the environmental review for proposal of this action. Whereas the town board, after consideration of this matter, has determined that it does not wish to consent to the City of Plattsburgh's request for lead agency status. Now therefore be resolved, the town board does not consent to the City of Plattsburgh's request for local lead agency status. And therefore resolved, the town board does hereby state the intentions of the town to establish itself as lead agency for the purpose of fulfilling the seeker requirements relative to the forthcoming annexation petition from the City of Plattsburgh. And be further resolved that the town board has hereby authorized the town attorney to inform the City of Plattsburgh of this decision.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Wood, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, is there any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Heber,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Mike Cashel.
Yes, resolution does carry. That will go out tomorrow. Resolution 50, contract with AES Northeastern for engineering design of Ruger/ampersand intersection.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh has a current and active 2-year contract with AES Northeast PLLC located at 10-12 City Hall Place, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901. And whereas in response to the data information recommendations contained in the intersection analysis report dated January 2018, prepared by C&H Consulting Incorporated for the Ruber ampersand intersection, the town does desire to have prepared, engineered, designed documents necessary to the implementation of the recommendation intersection improvements. And whereas AES Northeast PLLC has provided a letter of authorization which includes the scope of services and an estimated cost not to exceed $76,068. Whereas the town board finds it is in the best interest of the residents to apply for grant funding through New York State Consolidated Funding Application, CFA process in order to implement the intersection improvements. And now therefore be resolved, the town board, Town of Plattsburgh, does hereby authorize the supervisor to enter into an agreement with AES Northeast to develop engineering design and the bid documents for the improvement of the aforementioned intersection as detailed in the work authorization letter dated February 5th, 2019. Excuse me. And it be further resolved that the town board, Town of Plattsburgh, does hereby authorize the Planning and Community Development Department to proceed with CFA and further authorize the supervisor to execute the associated grant documents and forms.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Yeah. I'll second it.
Ebert, any conversation?
Just want to offer some comments
Yep.
on the project, because it's obviously got a significant cost. But, you know, Michael, when you did the town of the town summary, you talked about a key word, and that was planning. And that certainly is important, because as you look at this project, first we did the analysis back in 2018. Now's the planning. And one of the things I've learned just being on the board, not for very long, is that when we do these, you know, the CFA, the Consolidated Funding Application, learning that we have to keep that in mind for the execution part down the road, because one of the things that I'm learning with CFA is that they could get approved in November, but then we have our budget exercise in September, so we have to constantly be watching the ball moving for this sort of thing. So, you know, the planning, the analysis, the execution, and to our planning department, they do a nice job trying to keep us in a timeline. But again, to your statements in the summary of the town, planning, you know, there's a book that did the analysis for that River Street ampersand, and so having read it, it makes sense that this is gonna happen now, so just wanted to offer that.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Barb, that it's constantly, to kind of shepherd projects along, we have to be looking at the multiple steps. And some, you know, people often wonder why projects in government take as long as they do,
Right.
because there's multiple steps to it. First is the needs analysis, you know, in some regards, then the engineering, then, you know, costing it out, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, the CFA funding schedule is coming up, so, and my hope too, just to be very clear, we did a modest public-private partnership with You First Credit Union to actually help us get that analysis done first. My hope is, after this phase, that we can potentially work with some of the surrounding partners, because we're gonna prove that this will be a benefit to not only the town, but the, you know, the overall community. So I'm very hopeful that there's some other public-private partnerships, and part of that is using the data and explaining the narrative by showing what are the costs, how are we gonna do it, what are the impacts and stuff.
And part of being, we all know we're responsible stewards. I guess the reason I made the comments is that the timelines are important, because instead of 2022, if we kind of push this out, maybe this is a 2021 accomplishment. I don't want to speculate on that timeline, but just learning how these ducks have to be in a row for all of this.
Sure, absolutely.
It's complex.
I just got you're not necessarily gonna get the funding in the year you ask for it, you might get it next year.
That's
though, if
right.
you read the line.
All right, anything else? I'm gonna ask for a roll call on this, please.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mike LaFave,
Yes.
Barb Hebert.
Yes.
Charles Costa.
Yes.
Mike Cass.
Yes, resolution does carry. I know of no need to go into an executive session this evening unless there's an interest from the board. Is there any motion to enter executive session? Seeing none, is there a motion to adjourn this evening at 6:14?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Caustic, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Drive safe, everyone, thank you.
What time, Mike?
6:14. Can I get you to certify a copy of that resolution? Thank you.
It's too bad you couldn't have, made it.
Good night, Rocky.
Good night.
Good night. At least he will remember me and all.
Where did I graduate?
We went to
Yes, 69.
I was class of 73. I was just a little freshman when we were singing. So it's funny to say, I remember those things.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, don't forget, we really,
School days are hard to forget.
yeah, well, especially our school, because don't forget, we had all the Air Force brats. So that was me and many others that were.
Oh, yeah, why did you stay?
That's a good, well, my dad was a firefighter here for,
Oh, he stayed.
he finished his military career here, and he decided to stay. He served 20 more years as a
That's hard.
civil servant.
Yeah, it's hard to,
It's
it's
hard
hard
to
to
find.
separate yourself from this.
So-
My wife's family did the same thing.
Yeah,
They got here,
yeah.
their father served, was civilian, he's still a servant.
Oh, okay, but still, that's what my dad
He was
did.
an engineer,
Yeah.
on the base, and, he loved this place.
You know, so my dad, and he passed away here. And,
Yeah.
he's a veteran. So, and we had 2 tours of duty.
We trimmed the grave too.
Yeah. But we came and left and came back again, so,
Oh, well.
but anyway,
Well,
take
nice
care.
day.
Yeah, me too, thank you.
Good night, Barb.
Good night, Rick, take care.
Yep.